So in this section we consider the prevalence of GAD and also the impact of gender and GAD. Effectively, in terms of prevalence, over any 1 year period, the likelihood of GAD in anyone is about 2 to 4% of the population. So what we're saying is that in any 1 year, if we were to look at the diagnosis of GAD in the population, it's likely that between 2 and 4% of people will be diagnosed with GAD. However, over the lifetime of a person, it is likely that between 4 and 7% of people will have some experience of GAD over their lifetime. Indeed, it is the most common mental health problem. A considerable proportion will have GAD now or will go on to develop it in the future. The World Health Organization also looked at GAD within the clinical population, and you may expect it to be higher than in the overall population. So the World Health Organization found that 8% of all people in primary care met the criteria for GAD. And those who were consulting physicians specifically about mental health challenges, about 25% of those, a quarter of those consulting physicians about mental health in the primary care setting, have pure GAD. And by that we mean it is not comorbid with other conditions. So GAD is in effect the most frequent anxiety disorder. As well as being the most frequent anxiety disorder, Generalized Anxiety Disorder is the second most frequent of all mental disorders in primary care facilities. We also found that GAD is quite sticky. Not only is it difficult to get rid of, but it stays around. So GAD symptoms rarely reduce of their own accord over time without some intervention. Indeed, some research in 1996 saw that only 15% of participants had full remission from GAD after a year. In other words, 85% didn't. 25% of people had remission after 2 years of having GAD, and only 38% had remission at 5 years. So in effect, as well as that, those who had remission, a substantial number of those participants were also later found to have relapsed. All in all, this indicates that GAD is one, difficult to get rid of, and secondly, difficult to stop coming back. GAD really is chronic in its nature and difficult to therefore manage and get rid of. Interestingly, in terms of age groups, around 2/3 of people with GAD reported developing it between the age of 11 years of age and their 20s, although a significant majority do get GAD from the middle adulthood onwards. In terms of the early onset of people below or in their 20s at the latest, that's not seen in terms of research as being linked to any one particular life event. However, it could be argued that people in their teenage years and early 20s particularly will be undergoing significant life changes, which may be triggering some of the anxiety. The later life onset is much more linked to significant events such as the loss of a partner. So in terms of gender, it is more commonly seen amongst women than men in the population, and that finding has been reliably and consistently reported over a wide range of research over a long period of time. In terms of 1 year prevalence in any 1 year, approximately 4% of women compared with 2% of men have GAD. So I hope from that quick synopsis of some of the research, we'll see that GAD is indeed a significant thing to be concerned about, and that it does appear to be particularly predominant in people from around 11 to their 20s, and again from middle adulthood onwards. It is also the case that, like many mental illnesses, it is more predominant in the female population than in the male population.